Flexibility training, just like strength training, should vary in intensity based on the exercise. Now, in the context of flexibility, intensity refers more to proximity toward maximum depth as opposed to failure or increased load. Let's start with Tier 1, which can be thought of as your primary exercises. This will be the big three compound positions, your middle split, front split, and back bridge, which are the most neurologically taxing. When performing isometrics or eccentric strengthening for these positions, it's important to stay further away from failure. In fact, it can almost be thought of as a cheat code for progress if you don't go to maximum depth when training these. The majority of your work should be spent in the 70 to 85% zone of your maximum depth, building up tolerance and capacity there. Think of these similar to your barbell lifts like your overhead press, your squat, or your deadlift, where you want to minimize grinding reps, increase neuromuscular efficiency, and reduce connective tissue stress. Like these classic lifts, the splits should be treated like a skill first and foremost. Now, Tier 2 would still be compound exercises, but they're a bit more targeted in nature. Think of this like your split squats, your RDLs, your dips, your weighted chins. This is the category I'd place your Jefferson curls, your loaded hip flexor stretches, loaded hip rotation, and so forth. These can actually be pushed to a greater intensity than the exercises in Tier 1, but just know these exercises are directly related to your performance in your splits and back bends. So the harder you push these, the more potential they have to disrupt progress in the bigger positions when trained simultaneously. These can also be your main exercises if you have no desire for the splits or you're just not ready for them. So we still want to go for quality here and not max out range every session, but we can still flirt with that point as long as recovery is managed. Last, the third tier is your more supported type of stretching, with the goal being to melt into your deepest stretch as long as you can maintain the final position for a few deep breaths. With these longer duration holds, you can basically stay in the stretch for as long as the stretch keeps giving you more range. Once that stops, stay in the final position for a bit longer, let your nervous system get accustomed to that new range, then come out of it in a relaxed state. We also have the more mobilization type drills, which can basically be done whenever. This is also stuff that you can do more frequently to build volume and awareness on your more stubborn areas, but will help you get more out of your main drills and have more of a warm-up or priming effect. Think of this category as activation, nervous system potentiation, pain desensitization, or just greasing the groove for range maintenance. So I hope this helped. You can certainly play around with how much one tier is prioritized over the other based on the adaptation you're after. But for the most part, you'll see most of these categories in a well-structured flexibility plan.